documentary, very powerful, and perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the making of it. You mentioned a few challenges, but I think we're going to bring in the other two people. Kuntama, can we get our speakers on screen? Aline, and good evening, and Mong Saint. Are you there?
Hi, good evening, Gwen.
Hello, welcome to the panel. The audience here has just seen the film, and we've just asked Ong Nang So to maybe talk a little bit about the challenges, but we'd love to hear from you as well. So maybe you can take over.
Thanks everyone. So first of all, I want you to ask, you don't need to respond to me, but I want you to ask, like, yourself, what do you feel? What did you feel after that, you know? I saw some people blinking, you know, so, but whatever you feel, sad or any sentimental feelings, I really want everyone to have anger like we have. I'm angry to make this film. I'm angry to witness everything. Like the whole Myanmar is angry to witness and experience all of this brutality. We don't need to be sad. We don't need to be pity. Just be angry, you know. And there are some of my friends, my Burmese folks here. So I would like to say a few words in Burmese. So the two Myanmar thing is she bono. The ma the two alu Myanmar boka lonely are she. I mean, Palube Kanzaya. General say to him, "Let's eat him. She then oh daughter. The Lumio Pite Harry, Jonge Twigaya, she daughter. Any daughter she needed a solution. Oh, Padube Pipibono, oh Myanmar Tolan you Sabio, oh Kuni Nebia Sabi, oh Kuni Nebia Surata Sabi, oh a top band Pisse Mono. So this anger bring action. That's how I feel, and that was my motivation making this film. Also, there are a few personal stuff. I feature my own sister in this film because she was how to say, she was a close contact, you know, and she had a great story to tell. So that's why I chose. And also the other thing is that. So I have my one of my editors sitting over there. So there was a footage of him getting arrested. So someone accidentally captured an image, a video of the editor of this film got arrested, and we used this image. Also, there was a footage of me filming an event, like when they threw some tear gas and flashbangs, you know. So there were like some kind of like little personal things as well. So if any of you spot those images, please let me know. Your drinks are on me. Yeah. So maybe we can talk about the report by Athan. So this is the. So this year February on the 1st, I had the first film to work together with Athan. Athan is a freedom of expression activist group. They also made series of research, and also they've been organizing different campaigns since many years ago on internet restriction, freedom of expressions, and other human rights issues. So Athan released research reports about media freedom, about freedom of assembly, and they asked me to make a film. So. So you will see the QR code at the end of the panel. You can just scan the QR code that will bring you to the report in both Burmese and English version. So this is our second project together with Athan, and I'm so proud of that. And I really appreciate everyone from Athan and my team as well, my team in the back. So.
Thanks, Ong Nang. So would you like to talk a little bit about the report, or you can work out how you would like to do this?
So maybe Elaine, you can explain about the report. Thank you.
Firstly, I would like to say that thank you very much for having me here. and thank for giving me a chance to share the report with you. And so, actually, I'm a little bit shaking and my heart is a little bit beating after I watched the film. And so, okay, so the report is about the report uncover the protest happening in Myanmar, and we analyze the flow of the protest and sorry.
Right.
Sorry, can you hear me?
So maybe you can explain a little bit more about like what you have included in the report. What are your findings? A few things like that, Elaine.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Uncle. Because the report is really widely described, and I don't know how to like briefly say in. So thank you for asking that question. So the report will highlight the how many protests have been occurring in Myanmar during the last year, since the February 2021, and then we analyze that some anti-military protests and also socio-economic protests. And among the protests happening in Myanmar since February 2021, 99% of the protests are about the anti-military protests, and we found some socio-economic protests. And we also analyze the protests not only happening on the ground but also happening in prison, like the prisoner strike and how they want to show their right to freedom of expression in prison. And also we also highlight the charges against the detained against the protesters that the military replaced with more severe offense, for example, like what kind of charges and what kind of lawsuit the military used to prosecute the protesters, the peaceful protesters, and something like that. And also we highlight how the people who have been detained or who have been arrested or who are deported to interrogation center, how they have been treated by the military soldiers or police or something like that. And also we analyze, we highlight the LGBT plus and the women their experience in prison and interrogation center, and their experience, how they have been treated and sexual harassment to them committed by the military soldiers or something like that. And we also highlight the continuing protests happening in Myanmar until now, for example, like flash mob in the city, in big city or something like that. So yeah, these are I think, briefly, our brief summary in this report. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And perhaps we could turn to Mong Saint having a role in that film, and whether could you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now?
ဆိုတော့အခုကိုမောင်စိန်ပေါ့နော်ကိုမောင်စိန်ကိုပြောချင်တာဒီရုပ်ရှင်ထဲမှာလည်းပါခဲ့ဆိုတော့အခုဘာတွေဘယ်လိုတွေဒီ movement မှာပါခဲ့လဲဘာတွေလုပ်ဖြစ်လဲပေါ့နော်
ကျွန်တော်မြန်မာလိုပဲပြောလိုက်မယ်နော်
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ရတယ်ကို
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဟိုဒီလိုကျွန်တော်ခုနကလည်းပြောလို့ဆိုခုနအော်နေဆိုပြောခဲ့တယ်လို့ပြောကျွန်တော်လည်းဒီ documentary ကိုကြည့်ရတာအခုမှပထမဆုံးကြည့်ရတာဆိုတော့ကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ခံစားမှုရောကျွန်တော်ဒီဘာဒီတပြည်လုံးရဲ့ဒီတော်လိုင်းလှုပ်ရှားမှုရောဒီ film ထဲမှာပါတဲ့ကျွန်တော်ရဲ့ရဲဘော်ရဲဘက်တွေပေါ့နော်ကိုတွေညီမတွေညီတွေသူတို့တွေရဲ့စိတ်ခံစားမှုအဲ့အခြေအနေတွေကျွန်တော်မြင်ပြီးတော့နေကြမူသွားတယ်အဲ့အခြေအနေဖြစ်အခုလည်းအဲ့ emotion ဖြစ်ဆိုတော့ဒါပေမဲ့ကအောင်နေစုပြောလို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကငိုတယ်ဆိုတာကျွန်တော်တို့ခံစားမှုကျွန်တော်နှလုံးသားရှိပြီနှလုံးသားမရှိတဲ့လူတွေကတော့ဒီလိုလှုပ်ရဲတယ်လားဒီကောင်တွေကတော့လှုပ်ရဲတယ်ဒီလိုခံစားမှုတွေဖြစ်အောင်လုပ်တာဒီကောင်တွေပေါ့ဆိုတော့ဒီကောင်တွေတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကစောက်ပြီးစိုက်နေတာမဟုတ်ဘူးကျွန်တော်တို့စောက်ပြီးစိုက်မှာကျွန်တော်ဆက်ပြီး တော်လန်ပုံကန်နေပါဒါကျွန်တော်တို့ကခုဒီနေ့ကျွန်တော်တို့မျက်ရည်ကျရတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့က1 day ရတယ်ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်ကနာကြည့်ချက်တွေဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့ဒါကိုကျွန်တော်ပြောချင်တယ်အောင်လို့ဆိုအဲ့ဒါလေးပြောတယ်
Okay. So also for Mausei and Lin, this is their first time watching this film as well. So Mausei has been telling that he told that he has an emotion. He was emotional after watching this film because he sympathized other comrades, like what other comrades had suffered in this film. You know, like he has seen it, so this made him emotional. But it won't be emotional for like the military, for those who are like inhumane. You know, for all human being will be emotional after watching this, and the most important thing is regardless of however the military or the oppressor treated people in the movement or treated Myanmar people, they will be like they don't care. They will just continue their involvement, their contribution to the movement. That's what he initially would like to say.
Right. Thank you. I'd also like to invite questions from the audience. If you have any question about either the film itself or to any of the speakers, please just feel free to go up to the microphone.
Sorry, just 1 second. Before we get to the questions, I have to say a few things. Today is actually a very important day in Myanmar. So, because 7 students in the prison and their family members and the whole country are so much worried that these young 7 students will face execution. The sentence was already applied by the military code. They had no fair trial, and it was at the court martial in the prison. And the whole Myanmar has been so emotional, and a lot of Myanmar people were demanding for their release, demanding for not execution them. And this film also featured about the 2 prominent activists who were executed, you know. And I want to say that the military is doing those death executions secretly. They don't want people to know. They don't even want family members to know. For example, Zeyato, the prominent hip-hop artist and the former MP, his mother visited him in the prison like a few days before he was executed. And he has been ordering like, Mom, can you bring me blanket? Can you bring me food? Something like that. So the family member and even the victim, they had no idea about the execution. So that's why the military is doing those executions very secretly. So we really have to stop them, and it's really important. I have seen story from writers this morning, but there were not much other report about it. Also, as a journalist, I understand that our editors and colleagues still have concern that, you know, how are we gonna get confirmation? How are we gonna get verification? That is very important, you know. But here is very important concern that I have. Shall we get confirmation or verification from the military or who, you know? Who, I mean, in this time, like, who is credible? So, and no one knew about those execution when Zeyato and Kojimi were executed. No one knew about it, you know? It was surprise, you know? Even it was so surprise for own family members. They were violating our rights, you know, clearly. And if any of you have anything to say about that execution, please feel free to go ahead.
ဒီဟာခုနကကြိုးပေးဖို့သူတို့လုပ်တာပေါ့တိတ်မိတ်ပေးတဲ့တည်တံပေးတဲ့ဆိုတဲ့ကိစ္စနဲ့ပတ်သက်ကျွန်တော်လည်းပတ်သက်ပြီးပြောရတယ်ဟိုကျွန်တော်ဒီလိုလှုပ်ရှားမှုမှာကျွန်တော်မျက်နှာကိုအများအုပ်ထားတယ်ဆိုရယ်လှုပ်ရှားမှုတွေမှာကျွန်တော်နံပါတ်1တစ်ချက်ကကျွန်တော်ဟိုထင်ပေါ်ကြော်ကြားလို့ဆိုကျွန်တော်မရှိအဲ့ဒါရဲ့နောက်တစ်ခုကလုံခြုံရေးကိစ္စဆိုတော့ခုကျွန်တော်ဒီတော်လိုင်းမှာကျွန်တော်ဒီမြေပြင်ပျောက်ကြားတပိတ်တွေပေါ့ flash mob strike တွေပဲကျွန်တော်လုပ်ခဲ့တာအဲ့ဒါကိုလည်းသူတို့တည်တယ်ဒီကောင်တွေလုပ်နေတယ်ဆိုတော့တည်တော့ကျွန်တော်နဲ့အတူတရင်တနည်းလောက်ခဲ့တယ်ရဲဘော်ရဲ့စီးနေကြကားတစ်စီးရှိ အဲ့ဒီကားတစ်စီးကားတစ်စီးကကျွန်တော်တကယ်ချင်းဖေကားပေါ့နော်ဆိုတော့အဲ့ကားပေါ်မှာကျွန်တော်တို့ရှိရထင်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်သူတို့အဲ့ကားတွေ့တဲ့အချိန်မှာဟိုကတနက်နဲ့ပြစ်လိုက်တော့ကျွန်တော်တကယ်ချင်းဖေပွဲချင်းပြီးတေသွားတယ်ဆိုတော့ပြီးသူတို့လည်းအဲ့လိုလူတက်တယ်ပေါ့တက်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘယ်လိုတရားစွဲလိုက်လဲကျွန်တော်ရဲ့ကျွန်တော်ငယ်ချင်းတစုရေကိုကျွန်တော်လူတက်မှုနဲ့တရားစွဲလိုက်တယ်ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကလူတက်ဖို့ရှိကျွန်တော်စဉ်းစားထားတယ်ရှိကျွန်တော်လူတက်ဖို့လည်းကျွန်တော်မှာအင်အားမရှိကျွန်တော်မှာအဲ့လောက်လည်းတစ်လုံးသားမမာကြုံဆိုတော့ဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်လည်းဒီပြောရမှာဆိုတော့သူတို့မိတ်ချမယ်ကျွန်တော်တကယ်ချင်းလည်းထောင်တယ်မိတ်ချမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူတို့တေးတယ်မျက်ကွယ်တေးတယ်ကျွန်တော်မိတ်ချမှာဖြစ်ဆိုတော့ဒါကြောင့်ကျွန်တော်လုံခြုံရေးကြောင့်လည်းဒီမျက်နှာပုတ်ထားဖြစ်သူဟိုဒီထင်ပေါ်လို့ကြော်ကြားလို့စိတ်မရှိရတော့တယ်မျက်နှာပုတ်ထားရတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီတေးတယ်ပြီးတဲ့ကိစ္စပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်လုပ်တာကျင်အဲ့တော့ဒီဒေါ်လာရေးမှာပါနေတဲ့လူတိုင်းကတေးတယ်ကြခါနိုင်တယ်ဆိုတော့ခုနကဟို documentary ထဲမှာမြန်မာလေးတယောက်ပြောသွားတယ်ခုနဖန်စီသွားပြီးရှင်တက်ပြတာလောက်တယ်နော်ဆိုတော့ဟိုအဲ့လိုမတက်ရင်တော့မှသူတို့တရားစွဲပြီးတော့လူတက်မှုဘာလို့ဆွဲထည့်ပြီးတော့ဒီကျုံးနေပေးတာတည်လည်ချတာတကယ်လောက်နေတာအဲ့တော့ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဟိုတော်လိုင်းမှာပါတဲ့လူတွေကဟိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီအတက်ကိုဖတ်နေထုတ်ထားအဲ့ဒါ
Okay, so let me translate briefly. So Mao Seng has been sharing his personal story, like why he has to cover his face. So Mao Seng is the person who organized a lot of flash mob protests, and also even way before the coup, he has been organizing many different protests. He made protest banners, organizing many other protests. So for the military, he has been targeted by the military. At one point, after organizing a flash mob protest, soldiers thought that he was in that car. So the soldiers shot with guns to that car. But Mao Seng was not in that car. Instead of him, there was an elderly man who is the father of his friend. He was died, like on the spot. He was killed by those bullets. So since that time, the military also sentenced him death. But he is still escaped. He is still somewhat safe. So that's why he has to cover this. And he also explained that, like someone in the documentary said, when the military arrests protesters or any other people in the pro-democracy movement, they arbitrarily detain them, and then they torture people until death. If those detainees still survive the situation, they could be death sentenced, like him or like the 2 activists or like 7 student activists, now at the present. That's what he briefly explained.
Right. Thank you. Jeffrey, you had a question. If you wanted to go, could you just go to the microphone because it goes over. Otherwise, viewers can't hear. Sorry about that. Thank you. Can we have a little bit of quiet back there?
My name's Jeffrey Goddard. I've got the Burmese people in my heart.
Can you speak into the microphone, Jeff? Sorry. Yeah, thank you.
My name's Jeffrey Goddard. I've got the Burmese people in my heart. Do-a-ye, do-a-ye. Can the resistance win?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we're gonna win for sure. Myanmar people gonna win for sure, and every Burmese, every Myanmar citizen has this belief. But in practical, we don't know when it's gonna happen. Also, it based on many circumstances as well. Myanmar doesn't have an equal amount of support as Ukraine. Myanmar issue is forgotten like Yemen or other country. So, but there is a famous slogan saying that "Ngaru ma ngaru be shiye," which means we just only have us, right? Like Mao Zedong, so we just only have us. You know, most of the people in the movement, they have that kind of spirit, and you might remember those young people in the film. You know, they cover their face. You know, they wander around the city. They protest. You know, and the military gonna kill them. The military gonna charge them with death sentence. You know, although they didn't kill anyone. You know, this is what the military gonna do. But those people are armless. There's no arm. There's no weapons. You know, for those protesters. And many of those protesters had to join the resistance. There's no other option. No other option. So now my question is. Does Myanmar have received equivalent amount of support like other countries? I mean, like Ukraine, you know. No, we don't, you know, in practical. And if Elaine and Mao Zedong has anything to say, please. Jeffrey ဆိုရဲဦးလေးမေးတာတော့ဒီတော်လန်ရေးဘက်ကနိုင်မလားပေါ့နော်အဲ့လိုမျိုးအဲ့ဒါမေးတာပေါ့
ဟုတ်ဟောလေကျွန်တော်တို့ကနိုင်လားဆိုတော့နိုင်ဖို့ကကျွန်တော်သိကြတယ်အခုလေကျွန်တော်တို့ကဟိုလူငယ်တွေပေါ့နော်ဒီနေ့လူငယ်တွေကျွန်တော်မြင်ရကျွန်တော်တွေ့ရဆိုတော့တစ်ဆက်မှာလက်လျှော့ပေါ့သူတို့ဒီတိုက်ပွဲကိုဘယ်လိုပုံစံနဲ့သွားမလဲဘယ်လို unite ဖြစ်အောင်ကျွန်တော်တို့လုပ်ပြီးသွားမလဲကျွန်တော်တို့ဘယ်လိုစုစည်းကြမလဲဆိုတော့အမြဲတမ်းကြိုးစားပြီးလုပ်ဆိုတော့ဟိုတော်လန်ပုံကံမှုကမျိုးစုံပဲဒီလမ်းပေါ်ကတပိတ်တွေဒီလက်နက်ကင်တော်လာရေးပေါ့နော်ဒီခုခံတော်လာစစ်ဆိုတော့ဒါတွေတော့ဆင်နွှဲပြီးတော့လုပ်နေကြတာကျွန်တော်ကတော့ဒီနေ့တော်လာရေးကကျွန်တော်က surprise ပဲဟိုကျွန်တော်ဘဝမှာကျွန်တော်ဖတ်ခဲ့ဘူးလေကျွန်တော်လေ့လာခဲ့ဘူးလေတော်လာရေးတွေကျွန်တော်ရှိတယ်ကျွန်တော်သိရဟာရှိဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်ဘဝဖြတ်တန်းမှုမှာကျွန်တော်တို့နိုင်ငံကဒီလောက်ထိ report ဖြစ်မယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်ဘဝကျွန်တော်တက်တန်းတစ်ချောင်းမှာရှိခဲ့မယ်လို့တော့ထင်ခဲ့ဘူးကျွန်တော်အိမ်မက်မှတ်ခဲ့တဲ့အရာအခုဖြစ်နေတာပဲကျွန်တော်လက်ရှိကျွန်တော်ကြည့်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်လူတွေရောတကယ်တော်လာမဟုတ်ပဲနေတာဆိုကျွန်တော်တစ်ခါမှမမြင်ဘူးတဲ့တော်လာမျိုးကျွန်တော်မြင်ရတာပဲ
So Mao Zedong said we're gonna win for sure. There are many young people. They take the street. They protest. And everyone has believed that they're gonna win for sure, and they will never surrender. And this revolution and the movement surprised him because it is very unique from any other revolution that he had learned through his life. Because Myanmar has different forms of involvement in the revolution. So if I can add a little bit of what he said. Myanmar people are doing this, involving in this movement in like many different ways, you know. They are diaspora community all over the world. They contribute the money, and they are some tech guys, you know. They created a YouTube channel. They created like an iOS application, you know, that was like top 10 on Apple Store, you know, and that made some revenue, and that goes to the refugee or the resistance, you know, that kind of thing. So, and in the protest, there were people in like wedding costumes or Superman, you know, that kind of thing. So like people are getting creative, and there recently there's something that I remember. For the moment, protests are almost impossible to organize in Myanmar, but there's a group of protesters. They organize in the rainy season, so they just work. It was the annual Remembrance Day of 1988 revolution. They just opened their black umbrella that has number 8, you know, on the umbrella, you know, and it's at four digits of 8, you know. And recently there were other students, you know, they organized another protest. Burmese has lounges, right? So they went to the bus station or any other public area. They wear those lounges, they open it up, you know, so people could see their protest message. So our people are like very creative, but of course like we still need support, you know. It's not only about money, or it's not only about political participation or something like that. It can be like very small things, such as like you call your Burmese friend, check on him or her, or like you contribute some money, or like if you, based on like you're a journalist or you're a diplomat or you work for NGO, you bring some action, you bring some idea for the Burmese people, that will help a lot. And Ellen, if you have anything to say.
Yes. Actually, your question is, I think your question is really a tough question, and so when we look at the physical, like equipment of physical power, you can see that Myanmar people are playing imbalances of power, and military have the amount of power, and the other side of the country, like the PDF and other ethnic and forces, have like less physical equipment compared to the militaries. So we can see that the imbalances of power happening in Myanmar. So, but what we believe is that we believe in people's determination of their fight for democracy and their fight for freedom, and we believe that we will win one day, and we will be really appreciated if the international community, if the war leaders could do something action as much as we expected, rather than listening or we talk. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Question, gentleman there. Please identify yourself.
Kim Atkinson. It's rather difficult to gauge the extent of public engagement just from the shots in your film. We see the protesters, and then the series is, the scene quickly changes to another shot of protesters or whatever, but we don't see the public being engaged. And I wonder if you could say something in general about where is the unity, if there is, among the general population, and what has been your experience with a general strike or other silent mass resistance to the coup?
Right. So I was in Myanmar until early April last year. So I witnessed every single day until like end of March, millions of people took the street. They protested, and there were people distributing water, cold drinks, medicine, stuff like that. And people take care of each other. And as a journalist, I even witnessed very sweet moment in the public as well. I was just filming on the road, and then there were some like aunties in the neighborhood. They came to us and they were giving us some food. Son, you might be hungry, so here's your lunch. That's it. It's very sweet. And during the crackdown, we have to run. So we just knock a random house and we hide in that house. So I feel safe. I mean, like any of them, any Myanmar people in the protests, after hiding in that random house. Some people overstayed for a night at the house of a complete stranger. So that's the public unity in this involvement. But we didn't see millions or hundreds of thousands of people on the street since early April, because the military has been shooting at people. That's the reason. But still, in central Myanmar or in peninsula part like Magui Island, people are still taking the road. Because those are like self-administered area of some local resistant group, so no one gonna shoot at them. So that's why they still take the street. And there is like very few media coverage as well, to be honest.
Thank you.
Can I add for this question?
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
Arlene.
Oh, yeah. So in this report, in a report, we found out that found out the public participation in protests since the coup happened in February 2021, and these are people support for the revolution, people support in the protest, and the another one is people involvement. And we have found that people's support for the anti-military revolution has never weakened since February 2021. However, people involvement in protests and people showing their support to flash mob or something like that has been weakened because of the military, because of the severely depressed by the oppressed by the military on peaceful protester. For example, like when a strike is when a strike or a flash mob is organized in some places. In some places, the military forces came to display at night or at another day, and then they cause trouble for the people and to the people living around the place, and then they check the household registration and they beat and they arrest the resident. So this became people reluctant to show their solidarity along with the other protester or other flash mob striker. But people's support for the revolution has never weakened since February 2021.
Right. Thanks very much. Question there.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, or to ask, those aunties who offered food to the protesters, would the police have shot them if they had been seen?
I don't know, to be honest.
I mean, what is the extent of showing your colors to in public, that which side you support?
Can I say something? I think having closely watched all the footage, and there was plenty more in those days, I think it was so arbitrary. Some people were shot for far less, and other people seemed to take incredible risks and get away with it. So I'd say it would depend which auntie, on what street, on what day, and whether the police or military were particularly vicious. Am I right?
Yeah, you're quite right. Also, that was around mid-March. Of course, there were crackdown. There were some fatalities. Some people got killed. But the crackdown mostly happened on main road. So in like little soils, like little streets. I don't want to say like people like just go around like in a normal situation. But people have been looking at us, looking at the protesters. If anyone need any assistance, they come down and open their door, or they will give you water. That kind of thing. So I'm pretty sure she's safe. But also there was an event in February. There were a group of girls, like watching the protests in February in Sanjiao Township. So when soldiers came to raid the building to arrest the protesters who were hiding in the building, so they poured some hot water. So these girls were that brave. Like there was like 3 or 4 girls.
And what happened to them?
They got arrested, and they were in prison for like a year or something. But now they got released. That was like 6-7 months ago, something like that.
And what happened to the poor guy you interviewed, his mother, when in the film? Is his mother still in jail?
No, she got out. She got out. She actually the history was very heartbreaking, like you see. But there were other parts that I wasn't able to feature in the film. So when after his twin brother got killed, their story went viral. And there were some diplomatic missions, like U.S. Embassy and any other foreign embassies. They came to the school where he was shot, and they dropped some flowers, like as a memorial, But then after that, his family was targeted by the military. He gave interview to like a lot of publications, and then he was targeted. So the military wanted to arrest him. So they went to his house, raided their place. Also, people very sympathized to the family. So his mom has been selling like dry fish and dry shrimps because they were not able to continue their original business. So they had a new business, and it was quite successful because people sympathized her. But the military wanted to, take it down. So then they arrested her. Because they didn't see her son, the elder guy, So they had to flee, but now they are in a safe location. But her mom is still in Yangon. Yeah.
Right. Oh, thanks for that. Final question, I think, to you, sir. If you can identify yourself.
Sam Wright, club member. Thank you for the personal look, the human interest look, and perhaps the Rangoon look. Needed and useful. But you raised another issue of the lack of support from the rest of the world. And the implications of the film is that the enemy is the military dictatorship. But we see in the UN Security Council that China and Russia, two dictatorships, block all foreign UN-guided interventions or help for yourselves. And I saw nothing in the film that addressed the fact that the arms being provided are mostly from the bigger arms from Russia, the fighter jets, the attack helicopters, the artillery, and the massive small arms from China. And you're saying, where's the rest of the world? Well, you didn't make an appeal, you don't make a connection, and you don't make an appeal to democratic countries that these two dictatorships are opposing and supporting another dictatorship, saying, help us, and you don't make the connections.
Right, is that a question? Are
Yes,
you
that is a question.
Right, okay.
Of is this why you're not getting the response? And in terms of your own programs, none of your programs make this connection. So I don't know why the club does that either.
Right. Over to you, yeah. Well, I think he's saying, why aren't you making more, why aren't you making more of an appeal? Or?
How to say? Well, there are also many campaigns demanding to stop selling oil, like aviation fuel, or like arms from like many other countries to Myanmar military. There are many campaigns as well, and many NGOs, local NGOs also. I remember there was a campaign from Amnesty International urging international community to stop involving in the aviation fuel supply chain, you know, and because of the investigation and finding by the Amnesty International report, there were some companies from European countries, they decided to stop working with the military, like they decided to leave that supply chain. You know, there are also things like that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, on that note, I think we'll draw a line under it, and I'd really like to thank the panelists, Mong Saint and Ailing, very much for joining us. We hope you stay safe. And very much to you, Ong Nang So and Athan, for screening your film here. And just to repeat, it'll be shown again at Sea Junction on the 16th of December. And we hope to see you back here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching.
Oh.
And then we will have a QR code so that you can scan the reports. And ကိုမောင်စိန်ရောအလင်းရောကျေးဇူးအများကြီးတင်ပါတယ် join အတန်ကိုလည်းကျေးဇူးအများကြီးတင်ပါတယ်
Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
And you can purchase some T-shirts and tote bags.
Yep.
It's only 300 baht.
I think they got that point.
Sorry, I'm quite direct. Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks to our live stream technician, Kuntam, and the staff.